Hey everyone. Today I wanted to talk about Bombs Away, this week's Kirby challenge. So 351 is the best known. 353 seems to be just as difficult to get, but a little bit more achievable. A lot of people are at 355. I'm also at 355 as of this morning. So now that I have a 355 at least, I wanted to just kind of go through the replay and break down a little bit of what are the specific things I'm thinking of when I'm going through this to tweak. I'm going to assume that you already know the general flow of how this works, how you're trying to get into a dash, inhale this guy, and then get ahead of those Bronto Joes and then finish them off, the Poppy Brothers, as soon as possible. But let me just slow it down and kind of tell you the specific things that brought me from my I think I was at 356 as of my last recording, but for the longest time I was in the 360s. So if you're struggling in the 360s, 370s to try to get down to 355, these are the things that I put in my head in order to get to that point. So the first one is, where do I start my jump? For the longest time I was doing it as far to the right as possible. I don't know if I'm necessarily still doing that, but I'm starting my jump just a hair, a pixel or so, you can see between Kirby's foot and the ledge, just a little bit further to the left. And I find that this times things a little bit better for when I'm doing my inhalation for the Bronto Joe up at the top. I don't know why. If the longer I go to the right, the less time I seem to get. So jumping just a tiny bit earlier here has been in my mind. And when I do that, I'm trying to aim for this little corner section of the cloud to begin my inhalation. So one thing, let me just find it right there. So when you're about there, is when you want to start tapping B to inhale this guy. And the reason for that is you do a quick inhale. And one of the things that I found gets me in the 350s most consistently is inhaling this guy quickly. So I found that this little setup of not quite all the way to the right of the hill and just right about here on the corner of this cloud very consistently gets a quick inhalation. So you can see I'll very quickly absorb that guy. He disappears even before reaching Kirby's mouth. And that seems to be key here to reducing as much time as possible spent on this challenge. So after that, you're going to go through the usual, just kind of trying to dash off that ledge and then shooting it out before you drop off the ledge. I did it pretty much at the last second there. And this is the next thing that I'm always thinking about. When am I going to start my jump? It's far too easy to jump and just hit this Bronto Joe right on top of you. But honestly, the closer to the back of him as possible, the better you're going to be able to shave off frames. And I think this is where 351 and 353 are hiding, so to speak, because as you can see, I'm a little bit behind here. I think I could have been maybe one frame faster at that jump. You can kind of clip in just a little bit to the backside of this guy as you're traveling at speed. So just be very aware that this is this is the kind of timing that you're going to need to pull off in order to get down into the 350s. You need to be right behind this guy. I also don't start inhaling until I believe the next frame. Yeah, very next frame is when I inhale once I hit the kind of the top ridge of these clouds, as you can see. So once I pass where the first 8x8 tile would be, that's when I want to start inhaling. And the goal for that, again, is to try to get a quick inhalation of at least one of these guys. You can see that guy on top just kind of disappears as soon as I start. You want that if you're going to be able to get into the 350s consistently. There might be some better timing here as well to get both of them to be quickly inhaled, but I have yet to figure that out. That might be where 351 and 353 live. The final thing to note here is I'm always thinking of, when do I exhale? I don't have a particular area on the screen for when I blow that guy back, but I tend to find that just the slightest little hesitation after I can hit B again to shoot it out is usually best. Otherwise, you're just going to go over the head of the Poppy Brothers and not hit them. So there you go. So that is the 355. Again, I'm mostly thinking of where I'm jumping right there and where I'm jumping right there. The inhalation, it's important because you're going to want to be able to quickly inhale those guys in order to get these times, but really positioning, I think, is forefront on my mind in order to get to a 355. So hopefully that helps you. I'm going to continue to try to bring this down to a 351 or a 353, but I am pretty happy with the 355. It's difficult enough to pull off. So good luck to everyone. I hope this helps, and happy running.